What if the darkest secrets of a small town were not buried but waiting to be unearthed? Sinners 2025 is a suspense-driven drama that blends crime, morality, and the haunting weight of guilt. At its core, it is not about monsters or supernatural threats, but about the choices people make when truth collides with survival. This recap will explore the setup, the characters, the tone, and the themes of the film, while leaving the climax, the major revelations, and the ending untouched. Think of it as a guide to the opening acts, designed to prepare you for the journey without spoiling its destination. This is a spoiler-safe walkthrough. We will meet the central characters, outline the setting, highlight the early conflicts, and describe the way the film builds tension. We will not describe the ending or reveal the central mystery. Instead, this recap will function as a guide to the foundation of the film so that you can step into it prepared to experience the full story yourself. The story unfolds in a seemingly quiet town, a place where everyone knows each other, but appearances cover layers of silence and secrets. The environment is not just background, it becomes a character, shaping the mood with abandoned houses, empty roads at night, and the stark contrast of church bells against whispered rumors. The cinematography leans into muted colors and shadowed corners, amplifying the theme of sins hidden in plain sight. At the center of the story is a conflicted figure, a local investigator or a person drawn unwillingly into the mystery. They carry personal guilt that mirrors the town's atmosphere. Their drive is not just to solve a case but to confront the question of whether exposing truth actually heals or only deepens wounds. The protagonist is written with nuance, torn between duty, faith, and personal demons. The town is filled with layered personalities, a preacher whose sermons carry as much menace as comfort, a mayor desperate to preserve order and reputation, families scarred by unspoken trauma, and friends who may not be friends at all once their loyalties are tested. Each character becomes a mirror of the theme, everyone has something to hide and every choice leaves a stain. The story ignites when a disturbing crime or discovery shakes the town. It could be a body found, a missing person, or evidence of a long-buried scandal. The event is not just shocking, it is disruptive, unraveling the fragile balance that held the community together. From this point, suspicion and paranoia spread as quickly as facts. Sinner's asterisk thrives on slow burn dread. The camera lingers on quiet moments, a hand gripping a pew too tightly, a glance that lasts a second too long. Music builds tension with low strings and sudden silences. Even scenes without overt conflict feel heavy, reminding the audience that every smile might hide a sin and every room might conceal a lie. The protagonist digs deeper into the case, uncovering inconsistencies in alibis and hidden connections between townsfolk. Conversations that appear polite twist into veiled threats. The town becomes a labyrinth of whispers where every discovery opens more questions. The focus is not on shocking twists but on the creeping realization that no one is entirely innocent. Parallel to the investigation are personal conflicts. The protagonist wrestles with faith, trust, and a past mistake that influences their judgment. Families fracture under scrutiny. Couples turn against each other. Old wounds resurface, showing how guilt corrodes relationships over time. These elements make the drama as gripping as the mystery itself. Midway through the story, the protagonist uncovers evidence that reframes the crime. It is no longer a single isolated event but part of a deeper pattern. Without giving away specifics, this revelation forces the protagonist and the audience to question who is truly guilty and whether the bigger sin is action or silence. The film revolves around moral questions. Is silence a sin if it protects loved ones? Does justice mean truth at any cost or protecting those who cannot defend themselves? The film makes viewers wrestle with ambiguity, offering no easy answers. This is not about heroes and villains but about flawed people navigating impossible choices. As the story moves forward, tension escalates. The town grows more divided, secrets press harder against the surface, and the protagonist feels the cost of digging deeper. We stop here without describing the final unraveling, but it is clear that the stakes have risen from personal survival to the soul of the entire community. Sinners succeeds by balancing intimate character drama with atmospheric suspense. The writing is deliberate, the packing slow enough to build dread but never stagnant. Performances emphasize restraint, with actors saying as much through silence as through dialogue. The direction uses light and shadow to paint morality as shades of gray rather than black and white. So where do we leave this story? With a town under scrutiny, a protagonist at the edge of truth, and a community where everyone is carrying guilt in one form or another. The climax is left for you to experience, but the foundation is set, a drama about choices, faith, and the weight of secrets that refuse to stay buried.